Welcome back on the AM show, and let's talk about some of the strides our government is making. Government is set to launch the Ghana Apprenticeship Programme, GAP for short. Now, this is meant to be a transformative initiative with funding from the government of Ghana, the World Bank, and the German government through KfW Development Bank. Now, this program aims at supporting competency-based training, CBT. That is apprenticeship for a total of about 50,000 individuals throughout the period of implementation. But to give us more of a scope on what this means technically by way of implementation and what benefits we can derive from it, we have Dr. Fred Che Asamoah. He's Director General of CTVET. He joins the conversation. Doc, good morning.
Good morning.
Thanks for coming.
Thanks for having me.
What's the sound of Chichino?
What's
the sound of glasses? We are got a man. Feel free. You wait me a couple of casa. I can't wait. What's the sound of Chichino?
No.
I noticed he had changed his glasses. They look good on you. Thank you. What life kakra now? Okay, nice. All right. I can be mischievous. Don't mind. Pay no mind to me. I'm just being. Let's talk about CTVET. The last time you came here, we had more conversations about what you had been up to. We had some pretty tough conversations on some angles, but I'd like to ask, even as we kickstart the conversation, what is the state of technical and vocational training today? For example, the last time we spoke about some equipment, machinery, and other things that had been provided. I still remember. What is the state of CTVET today? What are the latest developments?
One significant achievement that we can talk about in the TVET sector, because it's a sector, it's not just one agency, is the fact that if you look at the enrollment in TVET institutions, it's jumped from 50,000 to 60,000. That means that more needs to be done as far as infrastructure is concerned. Government is bringing in more infrastructure, more equipment in the TVET sector, but more needs to be done because the good news is that Ghanaian youth have generated the interest to acquire skills, and that is what has to be focused on. I look at the system as it sits now. Let's take 100 students that are leaving junior secondary school. You have with the free secondary education policy, you have close to that 100%. It's not be. Let's assume we have say 95% going to secondary education.
Right.
That means there will be 5% that will be left somewhere, no matter the free secondary education that is put out there. And those that will go to free secondary education, some will go to grammar school, some will go to TVET. And after that, government is looking at having a gross tertiary enrollment ratio of 40%. So let's use that 40% as our discussion point. That means 40% of these young ones go to tertiary institution, will be left with that 60%. Some would have gone to TVET, so they might join the world of work. And those that go into tertiary too, some will come out, not all of them will be employed at the same time. So this is the perspective for which government is saying that I need to enhance apprenticeship training. So the 5% that dropped off from junior secondary school, where are they going? What are they doing? Now, the 60% that are not going to tertiary, not all of them are going to TVET institutions. So what are they doing? What kind of jobs are they doing? Those that are going to tertiary, and how many of them are going to professional programs? How many of them are being employed? And those that are not being employed, what are they doing? And all these that are falling through the cracks or not having some kind of job are very critical to the economy of the country. And government is saying that then we have to make sure all these people are either upskilled, reskilled, or skilled to be able to fall into one of the sectors. I enjoyed your earlier conversation that was talking about the mineral sector and lithium. And we realized everything came down to skilling the people to take over. And that is what the Ghana Apprenticeship Programme is going to take care of. Because now we have free TVET, that this year we have over 60,000 learners going to TVET schools. That one is free, so that's the mainstream. But subsequent to that, what happens to those that don't have any form of skill or any form of certification to be employed? They need to be trained. So the initial starting point, based on what we have done in the past, is what government has committed this amount of money to make sure that at least we start off with 50,000 as our first number. So following the 19,000 we trained in the past years. Then of course, it becomes a program, not a project. That projects normally have a lifespan. 1, 2, 3 years is gone. But it becomes an apprenticeship system that this country has in place. And it's looking at both the job market, the gaps in the industry, what are the new areas we want to venture into. We are in the fourth industrial revolution. Some countries have already started the fifth. How do we make sure that people are linked to industries and well trained to be able to support and take over, either support that industry or take over to become useful in that particular industry? In that case, unemployment will be taken care of, and at the same time, we also be looking at economic growth. That is for this reason why government has worked through all this process, is launching the Ghana Apprenticeship Programme, and most of the lessons learned will be also utilized in the coming years. Remember, with the Ghana TVET voucher project that we implemented from 2018 up till 2023, over 19,000 apprentices, mastercraft persons were trained. Now, this year, we are launching into reviewing and studying how many of these 19,000 that went through the training are in employment or have traveled, and even if they've traveled, what kind of jobs are they doing, and how is it going to help the family back home? So these are the things that we have looked to make sure that comprehensively to also advance the next MPP government's project or its way of improving on employment and economic development. This apprenticeship program is being launched.
I'd like you to, and of course, I think you made a bit of a switcheroo there, project and program, because projects are usually the smaller one. A program is more long-term, bigger. But what would you say are the salient matters to take note of, specific objectives of the GAP, this program? What does it seek to achieve within the shortest possible time and moving forward? And I also take the question from this angle. Anything could happen politically. Politically, anything could happen. It could be that the MPP is maintained in government. It could be that the MPP is booted out. Are these policies and the frameworks in place such that no matter what happens, they can be executed?
Yeah. So what we are looking at is not looking at only political terms. This country has to develop, and the president and the vice president thinks about what can help our young ones to be able to get employment for the long term and be comfortable. We want our young ones to stay in Ghana, and we can all help develop this nation. It's not easy going out there. Out there, it's not that smooth. But people go and struggle, they get jobs to do. It's because the industries are there. They started from somewhere with no industries, and now they've built them. We can also have our own young ones start small and medium-sized industry like Finland, and now they've built a lot of industry gradually. 20 years ago, they had the same medium and small-scale industry like we did. So the objective...
Some even cottage industries, yes. Now they've developed into...
Yes, look at Walmart. Walmart started as a family business, and now it's a big business. Amazon started as a small business. Now it's taking over the retail industry in the United States and even in the world. Probably even in Ghana, Amazon is selling to a lot of people. So we start from somewhere. So the basic objective is to make sure that the graduates that are either unemployed or graduates who are employed and want to change jobs, those who did not went through grammar education and they want to switch back to skill training, get the opportunity. All is because we want to focus on employment and supplying the skill that our local industry needs. The way it's been put together, I bet you no government will want to come and want to scrap apprenticeship program.
And that is the crucial part for me that I want you to get into, because we have a lot of programs that sometimes you would term innovative, good, positive, but the devil is in the detail. The devil is in the execution. And whether those policy frameworks are there so that no one, it matters not who is at the helm of affairs. They can pick up this document. They can pick up from where anyone has left off and continue from there, whether you are retained, whether someone else is there. That is how our approach should be as a country. That's why I'm pinning on that.
The good news is that for the period that this government has been in place, all the things we've taken to Parliament, as far as TVET is concerned, we have enjoyed support from both sides of the aisle. And we in Ghana can, people in Germany can talk about the German apprentice system, the dual system. We in Ghana also need to have our own story. We cannot always be following different countries. You go to India, they have their own approach. You go to China, you have their own approach. China is training more people in TVET than grammar right now. So Ghana, the Ghana apprenticeship program,
they're building them for industry.
Exactly.
That's the whole point.
Yes, but the Ghana apprenticeship program is something that is going to become a household name years to come when we are even dead and gone. So that we in Ghana too can talk about the Ghana apprenticeship program that is permanent, supporting our industry, making sure that our young ones are skilled no matter what, from whether male or female, able or disabled. Everybody is given opportunity to have a shot at being skilled or acquiring skills to support the industry. So I don't think any government in a normal sense will come and want to scrap Ghana apprenticeship program.
I don't think I mentioned scrapping. It's more of an idea of being able to take off from where anyone has started. I mean, the best of programs or even projects are executed in such a way. Even let me use a very basic example. In construction, right? If you're doing the right things and following best practice, and you build to a certain level, and maybe there's some issue, and another contractor comes. If you're following best practices, the person should be able to take off from where you've left off and continue seamlessly, without any problems. Unless there are problems right from the start, where maybe there are foundational problems, and then that is why I'm saying that. But two quick things I want to run by you. So, what numbers are we looking at in phase one, for example? How is it going to be phased, so and what numbers are we looking at?
In the short term, we are looking at 50,000 minimum.
50,000
minimum. And the funds that have been committed is over $60 million that has been committed. And you know, in TVET, what government has done very well that I'm proud of, before we come to talk about launching something, we would have put all the processes in place. As I'm talking to you, the Ghana Apprenticeship Program has different moving parts, but one of the critical parts is the financing. Okay, and we put a digital.
But since you started, let's go there.
Yes, we put a digital system in place. We call the voucher management system. Okay. That is able to capture digital information at the time of attending class or lectures. So it uses a facial recognition system, so it takes a picture. It doesn't matter whether you are shaved or you are in black or red. It uses facial recognition technology to capture your attendance, and it feeds into the system. It generates the voucher, which is used to pay the provider. And the trainer is expected to spend 2 days in class, spend 3 days in the industry. With that, you'll be able to make sure that by the time people finish training, majority of them would have had jobs already. And for this, in the new improved form, we are moving from level 1 on the National TVET qualification framework to level 5. For the first phase, we were only focused on the first 2 levels, that is National Proficiency 1 and Proficiency 2. With the apprenticeship program coming into place, we looked at what is happening in other jurisdictions, and we moved it up to higher national diploma. So one can either acquire
HND. Right.
Yeah, the HND or Certificate 1 or Certificate 2 or National Proficiency 2 or Proficiency 1. So that is the new approach to make sure that the National Apprenticeship Programme covers up to higher national diploma level. And the funding mechanism, government has taken facility from the World Bank through the Jobs and Skills Project, and $40 million is being channeled to that. Then we have 20 million euros with the counterpart funding from Government of Ghana, also taking care of the first two levels. So that is the amount of money that has already been committed to this. And as we move forward...
And how far will this sum of money take us? The $40 million and the
yes,
$20 million?
you say we're looking at a minimum of 50,000 learners or beneficiaries from this amount. Yeah.
I do know that you say one distinct feature about this Ghana Apprenticeship Program is the fact that it's roping in unemployed and underemployed people, tertiary graduates and others. Let's walk through those specifically you'll be targeting.
Okay, so one is for everybody. Even if you decide to go back to be skilled in in plumbing.
Even I could go.
You could go back to, and so we are collaborating with National Service Secretariats across the country and Ghana Enterprise Agency, so that apart from you going through maybe your trade associations, you can go through National Service Secretariat, or you can go through Ghana Enterprise Agency. And we are targeting graduates that are unemployed, graduates that will want to be re-employed. We are targeting secondary school graduates who have not been able to continue to tertiary and want to divert. We are targeting junior secondary school leavers who have not continued, and anybody that is willing to be trained. Because if you look at the Proficiency 1 level, it goes with both literacy and numeracy. So even if you don't know how to read or how to write and you want to add on literacy and numeracy, you have that opportunity to do that one as well.
And it's interesting because just a few days ago and yesterday I got something to assist in that regard. Someone who had graduated from SHS had one or two courses that the person had not been able to excel in, but for about 4 years the person had been home, and luckily some friends are assisting this person with a few things here and there and likely to get a job. But these are areas where such people could
apply,
yes, actually feed into if we had them up and running. But let's look at, so eventually, who are going to be the trainers? Where are the training centers going to be? Are you going to have a trainer of trainer situation? Like, give us an idea. How is this going to pan out?
So we are trying to build on what we have achieved over the past 7 years. So first, we have developed what we call the competency-based training curriculum. And the good news is that government has supported us for us to print some training manuals. Okay. Then you have to have an accredited institution that will be part of the training. Not just anybody can start up. So our technical universities are part of it, our technical institutes are part of it, and we have private TVET providers who are also accredited to offer this competency-based training program. And it's being implemented across the whole country. When we started, we had some selected regions, but now, and that was just for the project. Now that we have the program is being implemented across the entire country. We are encouraging more institutions to get accreditation so that we can have the spread. We increase the opportunity for all those who want to participate in the training. It cuts across. We have started with 10 trades right now: electrical and electronics, automotive, plumbing, catering and hospitality, fashion, cosmetology, mechatronics is part of it. And
I see.
Yeah, mechatronics is part of it. And robotics is part of it. IT, we have the different IT programs that are part of it. So you can, it's an opportunity for anybody who want to be retrained. And at time, unfortunately, countries are already on our doorstep trying to take our skilled people already. But we want to train
they've been taking them for years. And
but now with the advancement we are seeing and the transformation we are seeing in TVET, it's becoming more and more official. A lot of them have been unofficial, but now it's gradually going to be official. So we want to encourage all young ones in Ghana to take advantage of the Ghana Apprenticeship Programme and be trained to be able to have employment, improve on their life and that of their family, so that we can leave a good legacy for our future generation to come.
I want to quickly go back to funding, right? Something that I meant to ask. One, how sustainable is this funding, right? Now we're getting money from the World Bank, from the Germans.
But the World Bank money is Ghana money.
It is technically Ghana money, but you must come up with what will secure that money. It's like an IMF program. There are requirements to be met before those tranches will be released to you. How sustainable is this? And moving forward, even stepping aside or stepping away from World Bank or Bretton Woods institutions' money, right? Do we have plans of being able to take care of this on our own without needing some of these investments from outside?
I think everybody wants to put their money where their mouth is. And if it's working, the training is working, even other development partners have seen it's worth it to contribute. Definitely Ghana is ready to also realign resources, because you are talking about the minerals industry, and we've built one of the state-of-the-art jewelry and pedry workshop in Pechi number 2. More are coming on board. Would you want to train your people to take over this industry, or you want experts to come in and be working in industry, or you want your raw materials to continue to go out of country without scaling your people? And I believe that if you look at what His Excellency, the Vice President, talked about, I can talk about what I know. He was bold about his focus on technical and vocational education in the next 4 years. So I'm optimistic that this is sustainable, and this is the best way we can also keep our economy going.
Before we talk about the launch of the Ghana Apprenticeship Program, which actually is happening today, right?
Yes.
So long term, in this first phase, how long will it take to fully execute this very first phase? How long will it take?
We're expecting that by 2026, we should have completed the implementation. And we also want to count the jobs 6 months after the first phase implementation. And a lot of lessons that will be learned also be used to be able to improve on the Ghana Apprenticeship Program, that we expect that it becomes a household name in Ghana, that if I don't go to grammar or even go through the mainstream education, there's always opportunity for me to be skilled through the Ghana Apprenticeship Program.
I see. And let's talk about the launch of the program today. What can we expect? I know of some prominent people who are showing up. Walk us through that. Yeah,
so it's not going to be much talk. It's more of action than talk, because now the Ghana Apprenticeship, we have the digital system in place to manage the funding. We already have close to 10,000 beneficiaries that have already enrolled to be part of the training. So today we are putting it to the world what we have been doing on the quiet side, that we need to let it come out for more people to take advantage of it, and also to call for collaboration between the public sector and the private sector, because whatever government is doing is to create the enabling environment for the private sector to thrive. So today we are putting it out there, the opportunities that young ones in the country and everybody that is willing to get some skills to be able to take advantage of this program. So it's just going to be a short ceremony. It's happening at the Wesley Towers in Accra here. It's starting from 9 o'clock, 12 o'clock, we are done.
Interesting stuff. Any final words, Doc?
All that I want to say to the country is that on the quiet, government has been doing so much for TVET that has never happened in this country. There are a lot of countries that are looking at as an example in Africa, and I believe that we will have to continue to work together, both the private sector and the public sector will have to work together. We can never succeed without collaboration, and we are hoping that we will continue to collaborate as a nation and support the industry. All these that government is doing, the end beneficiary is going to be the industry, and we hope that the industry will in turn support the government to be able to support them to succeed. It's about egg and chicken situation, and if we can invest in the human capital or human resource of the country, there's nothing we cannot do as a nation. And I'm optimistic that where we have started from, what we have done in the past 7 years, is a good reason for us to build on to change the plight of our young ones.
Well, thank you very much, Doc, for joining the conversation. It's all about the Ghana Apprenticeship Programme, and who joined us, the Director General of the CTVET, Dr. Fred Che Asamoah. We'll follow you with our prayers, but we'll back you with our prayers, and we'll see how things go in that regard. We're just hoping that this will actually stay strong and be implemented properly so that the end game, those who are supposed to benefit, will benefit. Thank you for coming, Doc.
Thank you, Ben, for having me.
Great. Well, stay with us on the AM show. There's a lot more coming up soon. We'll be right back.